National winner, the Netherlands yearlings, Paauwe Chris, Kruiningen. The national winner, the Netherlands from Narbonne, International, 2022 in the category yearlings is Paauwe Chris, Kruiningen. The pigeon was clocked on Saturday at 6:51 Central European Summer Time after a race of 926.43 kilometers, achieving an average velocity of 937.62 meters per minute.
Saturday morning Chris Paauwe was already busy at 6 o'clock in the house. Occasionally he went outside to see if a pigeon had arrived either from Bergerac or Narbonne. On his phone, he has an app with a connection to the system. Suddenly his phone buzzed, and he thought it would be a pigeon from Bergerac, since no pigeon in the Netherlands had yet been reported from Narbonne on the ZLU site. When he looked at the display, he was pleased to see that it was a pigeon from Narbonne. It was his Thunder Queen. And a little later she was at the top of the reporting list. Chris Paauwe from Kruiningen works as a freelancer, Paauwe support, at healthcare organizations as a specialist in the field of finance, business operations and management. He ended up in the pigeon sport because of his father. Until 2003 he played in combination with his father. In 2003, Chris was 37 at the time. He started independently. The start was made with 12 summer birds directly from Eigerkamp. Species, Van Wanrooy, Eigerkamp Muller and Eigerkamp Fond. The loft where the pigeons live is 7.5 meters long and approximately 1.75 deep. The department for the growers is 1.20 wide. This is what a run stands for. The department for youngsters is 1.80 wide. The sections for the old pigeons are 1.80 meters for the cock, and 1.20 wide for the hens. What did you pay attention to when building the loft? Chris, I didn't pay special attention to anything during construction. Over the years I have adjusted things such as ventilation and lighting. The loft is now to your liking. What kind of pigeons does your current strain consist of and from whom do those pigeons come? Chris, as I said, I started in the autumn of 2003 with 12 summer boys from Hans and Evert Jan Eigerkamp. I started with 5 Eigerkamp Mullers, 4 from Wanrooys and 3 Eigerkamp Fond pigeons. From 2008 I started to collect pigeons from milkers who perform well themselves and whose pigeons also do well with other milkers. For example, I picked up pigeons from Jack Steketty, Jan Polder, Piet de Vogel, Jan and Ina Rubol, Jel Jalima, Ko van Dommelen, Arjans Beans, Jos Pepping, Jos Juicen and combination Verwage de Haan. In addition, pigeons are tried from local well-playing fanciers such as Flip Steketty, the late Dave van Bommel, Joep van de Vried, Jabra Van Maren, Jan Kees Hoek and Eric Deck. The last 2 years I have purchased many Jalima pigeons. Both directly and through Hans and John Lindenberg, Tunny Kaspers, Benno Kastelein, Cees Nijteken, Bertus Timmer, Herman Sabel, Jan Grutten, Jaap van Alphen, Jan Willems etc. These pigeons have proven to perform well in many lofts. How are the breeding pairs composed to achieve the best young? Chris, I don't have a specific breeding method. I let the racing pigeons mate freely and I love the youngsters of the best racing pigeons. With the growers I try to compensate as much as possible. I try to keep the kind pure and with several couples I cross. Chris Paauwe is one of Zealand's best marathon fanciers, as witnessed by many top prizes at the NPO marathon races with afternoon release and the ZLU classic races with morning release. Chris Paauwe is the man to beat in his region and province Zealand in recent years at both disciplines, and Chris Paauwe has won numerous national top prizes and championships. Our fancier from Kruiningen enjoys his pigeons. He likes to be busy with it. Chris, if you want to perform, I find the combination with a busy job and a growing family difficult. My wife and 3 children are not really interested in the pigeons. In sports I have some fanciers with whom I consult and have a good relationship. Especially with Eric Deck I spar a lot about the pigeons. We also breed with some pigeons together. Pete Guary takes care of my pigeons during holidays, before that my father still did that. But I also have a good relationship with Simon Opp, T. Hoff, Flip Steketty, and Pete Boone. What is so beautiful about the pigeon sport? I think the great thing about the pigeon sport is that when things go well or badly, you have to look for it completely in yourself. In other sports you are sometimes dependent on your teammates, and that is not the case here. In addition, I really enjoy being busy with my pigeons in my pigeon loft. But also of purchasing and trying out new pigeons. Furthermore, selling pigeons and coming into contact with many different people is also very pleasant. I also really like the contacts in the spirit. Last year, for example, I did breeding together with Ronald Geerdink and Co van Dommelen. Super fun. What could be better in the pigeon sport? Chris, there are two things in particular that I find difficult without having a ready-made solution for them. Namely, number 1. Honesty. In any other sport, the competition is always an equal number against each other. Example, football, 11 against 11, judo, skating, boxing, checkers etc. 1 against 1, tennis, 1 against 1 or 2 against 2, volleyball 6 against 6, but with the pigeons you can play 10 but also 100. And most attention always goes to the head pigeons and most prizes. If you play 100, you just have 10 times more chance of an early prize than if you only played 10 pigeons. I don't have a solution for it, but I still find it a difficult thing. Number 2. Holidays. The marathon races take place exactly during the entire summer period. It is then difficult to go on holiday with your family. Fortunately, the summer holidays in Zealand have been very late in the last 3 years, but otherwise I would not have been able to participate in all ZLU flights and my performance would certainly have been much less. Championships would not have been discussed at all. I really like all aspects of the sport, namely, breeding and playing with pigeons.